And welcome to the video lecture associated with enterprise keys. So we've talked about primary keys previously, and we've associated with your project, for instance, every entity in your project has its own primary key. It's a system generated key, it's an integer, and that's when we're talking about Microsoft Access. So we've said that every entity should have its own primary key, whether it's made up of multiple columns, for instance, like in an associative entity, or it has its own individual primary key. What an enterprise key is an enterprise key is a value that is unique amongst all of the entities in the entire database, not just within a single relation. So the author also talks about how it corresponds with the concept of an object ID in object-oriented systems. We're not going into object-oriented systems. I don't even go into object-oriented systems in IT 118. So let's just take a look at what that looks like quickly. So here we've got enterprise keys, and in this case the author is relating it directly to object systems. So here we've got an object relation which keeps track of object types, and then it assigns an object ID, right? And that is going to be the enterprise key. It's going to be unique throughout the entire enterprise. So if we look at our old employee and our old customer relations, they had an emp ID, they had a cust ID. So now here's the problem. If we were in the future to ever merge employees and customers, right, because they both have names, they probably both have addresses, they have similar data, so perhaps we go into a subtype, supertype scenario with employees and customers. If we tried to merge them together, unfortunately their IDs would clash, because Fred Jennings is emp ID 100 and Fred's warehouse is customer ID 100. Dan Hopkins is emp ID 101, but the customer bargain bonanza is also 101. So if we had, or if we were using enterprise keys, notice that Fred is number 1, Dan is number 4, Ike is number 5. In customer, 1, 4, and 5 is not used because they are being maintained at an enterprise level. So we have 2, 3, 6, and 7 in customer, 1, 4, and 5 in employee, all unique from one another. So if we ever did want to merge these together, they are unique one to another. There's also, there are other reasons that database designers like enterprise keys. No need to get into that now. Just realize that that's what we're talking about. When we talk about an enterprise key, we're talking about every relation in our database model utilizing the same, creating keys unique to every record. So every record or every instance of an entity in the entire database has its own unique primary key. And some companies are moving towards this, but again, this is not commonly used. That is the end of enterprise keys.